and also CHBTC, which I mean, it was previously known as CHBTC. Now I think they have a new name. But so we have a few other exchanges who are interested in listing our QASH token. So we're excited. Also, we have a few high-profile people who have committed to purchase our QASH token. So I think I shared with our community Taizo Son. So he's the younger brother of Masa Son. Taizo himself is already a multi-billionaire. And we are going to be featured in the Nikkei newspaper soon. But I also held a meetup 2 days ago in Japan. So I just came back from Tokyo to Singapore yesterday, but we had a meetup, and Taizo and I had a great session where he actually announced that he has committed to participate in our QASH ICO, and this is his first ICO. And he also mentioned how much he has committed, but I will keep that private. So that's one. We also made an announcement of Mr. Idei. So Mr. Idei was the former CEO and chairman of Sony. So he's one of the most high-profile Sony executives, right? So while his time at Sony, they launched the PlayStation. They also acquired Sony Entertainment, which is now one of the largest entertainment, Sony Music, all of these. So he will participate in our QASH ICO as well. This is his first time. And so we are honored to have him participate. And also maybe one more that I can share is, and this leads to the announcement or update that I wanted to make today. But obviously, I think you all know Jihan. So Jihan is the founder of Bitman and Antpool. Right? They currently, I think they make the strongest ASICs and Bitcoin machines in the world. So he's also participating in our QASH ICO. And I had the pleasure of having coffee with him 2 weeks ago in Singapore. So he is participating in our QASH ICO, but he was mentioning about this hard fork, the SegWit 2x that will happen in mid-November. And I just asked him point blank what he thought. And he said it's going to be contentious and it's going to be brutal. So obviously that's not a good thing, right? So this led to the announcement that I will share with our community. And I think we already have enough participants. It's about 48, 49 people. Hopefully we can break that 100 barrier. But so this is what I would like to share with everybody now. So as you know, maybe around November 15, 16, there will be a hard fork. So it's a SegWit 2x. We don't know if it's going to be like a 9-to-1 or an even split, but one thing that's certain is it's going to be contentious, right? So I already see people becoming hesitant to wire, deposit, or even use Bitcoin. And also, I think that's one of the reasons why the price of Bitcoin has been going up, because people anticipate it splitting, and the sum of the parts could be larger than the whole, right? So the big challenge that we have is our public sale starts next Monday. So it's Singapore time, November 6th, 0001. So after midnight, our public sale starts. And if you read our white paper, you will know that we have a maximum of 1 month and a minimum of 1 week. And the unfortunate thing is that the hard fork will happen exactly during that time. And obviously, we don't know how the replay attack will be solved. And during that time, even as an exchange, we will suspend deposits and withdrawals. And it's going to be, it could be a big potential issue. So with that, speaking with our management team, also discussing with our shareholders, we have decided to reduce the public sale. So we had, in our white paper, we said we will have a maximum of 1 month, but that will not be feasible. So we've thought about what would be the best way. So should we postpone it after the potential hard fork, or should we just do it before, or should we split it up? But we came to a decision, and you are the first one that I would like to share, because after this, we will update our website, our white paper, our social media, and all the channels that we have, we will update with this announcement. And the announcement is this: we will still do the public sale because everybody has been waiting. A lot of people have already signed up. They've deposited their Ethereum or Bitcoin. So we would like to honor that. But since the hard fork will happen about a week and a half after our public sale, that is not good. So what we have decided is we will reduce our public sale, and it will be 3 days, right? So I'm going to repeat it. We will reduce or shorten our public sale, and it is only going to be 3 days. So November 6th, November 7th, and November 8th. And that will be it. And so everybody who is interested in participating in our public sale, please make sure that you register on Cryptos, you fund your account, and you buy the QASH token within the 3 days. And the good thing is during that 3 days, it's going to be a 20% discount. So everybody who participates in our public sale will get a 20% discount. So there's no more scaling down. There's no more like a 0 discount after 6 days or any of those things. So it's going to be 3 full days, 20% discount, and that is it. So that is the announcement that I am making. And also, because it's only going to be 3 days, we have decided to reduce the offering by half. So right now, in our white paper or our website, it says 500 million QASH tokens. So that's equivalent to 500,000 Ether, right? So we will reduce our offering to half. That's still a lot when you think about it. In the current market and the current ecosystem, that is still one of the largest ICOs, but we will reduce it to half. So that will be 250 million QASH tokens available for sale. We did have a few private sales, so that will be included in the 250, but the 250 million cash or 250,000 Ethereum will be available for sale. So this is big news because the potential implication is this. First, you need to register and be ready because it's only going to be 3 days. We're not going to split it up, so it's only going to be 3 days. And the available token is 250 million cash. I'm assuming with the interest that we received that it could be oversubscribed. And in such case, we will make sure that it will be prorated. So even if you're on the first day or the third day, as long as you purchase QASH tokens, we will prorate in case it's oversubscribed. And so I think the question will come from our community and everybody is, what is going to happen to the remaining 250 that we reduced, right? So initially we had 500 million available for the public sale. We're going to reduce that to half. And the sale will only be 3 days. So what's going to happen to the remaining 250, right? So I think a lot of people were asking, even like, are you going to burn it? Are you going to airdrop it? Are you going to give it away? So I'm going to explain it, and please listen because it's very important. The nature of our business, okay, the nature of our business is the liquid platform. Because we are connected to over 15 exchanges, and we need to put deposit in these places, right? For example, if all of the money that we raise, if we put like 10 million in each exchange, that's 150 million that we need. So obviously, because we're going to reduce it to half, right, there's not going to be a lot that we can work with. So it's not optimal, right? Especially when we want to provide liquidity to the entire crypto ecosystem, that's not enough, right? So the 250 in cash that we sell, obviously we're going to use for liquidity and product development. But the remaining 250 that we've decided to reduce, we will not burn it. We will not airdrop it. We will keep it as reserve, and we will distribute it to strategic partners, institutional buyers, purchasers. So people or companies or partners who will add value to the liquid platform. And these people are long-term buyers and purchasers of the QASH token. So they will not be short-term sellers, and it will not be individuals, right? So these people will be long-term, and we will make sure that they are completely aligned with our vision, right? So it's not something where these people will start selling or anything like that. And also one thing I think it's important is when we do sell these to strategic partners and long-term purchasers, it will be market price with a little bit of a discount, right? So this sale to strategic investors and institutional purchasers will happen throughout the next, I don't know how many months or maybe even years, right? Because we are going to be selective. We are going to be selling it to strategic partners. And the price that we will be selling it will be market price, because by that time, our QASH token will be listed. So it will be a market price minus some discount, right? Similar to a block trade. So allow me to repeat it again, right? Our total supply will be the same. So we will issue 1 billion cash. Initially, I was thinking about offering 500 million for the public sale this time. But because of the hard fork, because of the shortened period, we have decided that we will only offer 25%. So correct. Initially, when we go listing, it's only going to be 25% is only going to be in circulation. So a lot of people who are asking me, why so much, or it's going to be flooded, or the market sentiment is bearish, and all these things. There's only going to be 25% in circulation. And over time, we will distribute, especially the remaining 250 million cash, we will sell it to strategic partners and institutional purchasers. And this will be market rate with a little bit of discount. Okay, so that is the announcement, and that is something that I wanted to share with everybody. And one more thing, so because we didn't want to push back our public sale, so the public sale is going to be November 6th, 7th, and 8th. And right now, our listing will be December 1st. But this will be subject to change, right? So, but I don't want to delay it. So the listing tentatively right now will be December 1st. So when you purchase our QASH token between November 6th to 8th, and then there's going to be a hard fork. I hope everything settles down. And then we will list our QASH token on December 1st. And we will decide whether we will do the first listing or the initial listing only on our exchange, or we do it with other exchanges as well, like Bitfinex, who we agreed that they will list, and they're happy to list it on day one, right? So we have Bitfinex, we have ANX, we have Binance, and we have a few others. So we will decide with our partners on what would be the best timing to list our token. Okay, so with that, I will open up to any other questions. But before we do that, there's two more things I wanted to share with all of you. And one is one of our community managers told me that there's been these rumors or scams going around, right? And what they're saying is this, that some people have received our QASH token for 70% discount, 60% discount, 65% discount. That is absolutely incorrect. And I even saw a snapshot that was sent to one of our community managers, and that is absolutely incorrect. I did, and I'm fully transparent. I told, I think the community that we did have a private pre-sale. That's already done. It's finished. And the maximum of that private pre-sale was 30%. So I'm very open with you. It was 30%, right? So for people who are participating in the public sale, the discount is 20%. So the delta is 10%. But if you do a referral program and bring your friends who will put equal amount, if you bring 2 more additional friends, you get 5% referral. So essentially you will get the same discount, right? But please, when people say there's 60%, 55%, 70%, that is a complete lie. And we don't have to do that because we are a real company and we're solving a real problem. Our product is already, our core technology is already there, right? So when you look at our landing page, you see this chart that shows the valley of death, right? Even with the right incentives, 90% of the companies will fail. We're past that, right? Our coin exchange, our CoinX, our cryptos will show, and it demonstrates that our platform works. Our core engine is already used in CoinX, and it's already used in cryptos. So from that perspective, the product development risk is gone, right? And the product market fit, we are solving a fundamental problem that the crypto token economy has, and that is liquidity, right? So please don't worry or that we need to give deep discounts in order to sell our QASH token. We don't have to do that, right? So when people say I got 50% discount, 60% discount, that's a scam, right? We don't have to do that. And our strategic partners are coming, and they're also saying they want to work with us. They want to buy our QASH token. It just takes a little bit of time. So those people we've allocated to our reserves. So it's very different from many other ICOs where they need to give big discounts and they need people to pump up. We're not doing any of those. So that was first. The second one is the bounty program. So our bounty program, we will continue until December 1st, right? So that is when we expect to be listed, right? So we will love to build a community, and we will love to, actually, this is going to be a long relationship, right? I'm not building a community just for our ICO or our public sale or our listing. The beauty of the crypto economy is the service provider and the customer is really close, right? So we empower our users, right? It's not a privilege to use it. We actually want everybody to use our service. So having a robust community is one of the most important things. So I might continue our bounty program even after December 1st. But I did want to share with you that even after the public sale, we will continue the bounty program. So I aspire, I want our community to be the best in the world. The largest, the most qualified, having great discussions. And also, I'm talking with Mario. So Mario is our CTO, right? So we're thinking about integrating this Telegram community into our trading dashboard. So we're thinking about in our trading dashboard having a community section, and we're looking into ways to integrate the Telegram message to our dashboard. So that will be wonderful, right? You can talk with our community, you can share your insights, and you can trade at the same time. I think that's truly how social investing goes. So yes, please be excited because I'm excited about that as well. So with that, I'm opening up to any questions. And so let's fire away. Actually, before that, I think I think it was Catherine, gave me a few questions that were brought up from our community, right? So one thing is this. I mean, the first question is this. Does Coin have plans to make cash and altcoin pairs? These days, with Bitcoin forks happening so frequently, A cash-based currency pair will provide stable alternative to consumers, exploiting the perceived instability of Bitcoin. That's an excellent point, right? So when you think about it, in another 2 weeks, Bitcoin's going to split again. That means there's going to be 4 Bitcoins, right? Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, and the 2X, right? From a financial service or institution, that's not good, right? And also during the split and until the next block comes in, you can't really use it because there's replay attacks and concerns. So when you think about it, Bitcoin is doing themselves a disservice with all these hard forks, right? So going back to the question from our community is absolutely yes. So starting with our own exchange, Cash will be a quote currency. So it will be Cash and Ripple, Cash and Zcash, Cash and Litecoin. So Cash will be the quote currency for trading pairs. And over time, when we settle with other exchanges, right? We already have over 15 exchanges that provide liquidity to each other. We will use our Cash token as a settlement, right? We do need all the other exchanges to buy into that, but we believe the Cash token or Cash cryptocurrency will be the preferred settlement token that will be embraced by financial services, including exchanges, including fintech companies, and eventually more larger and established financial services, right? So I do want people to understand that Cash is a cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency with benefits, right? The benefit is it can be used as a settlement, it can be used as a payment. The immediate utility of Cash will be that it could be used in all of our exchanges to redeem for payments, for use for collateral, for credit. You can use Cash to pay for all the services that we provide. And we will gradually expand that ecosystem to other exchanges, other fintech companies, and other financial institutions. So Cash, to me, if I were to rephrase it, is a better version of Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency. It's already approved by the Japanese government. I'm not supposed to say that, but it will be approved as a cryptocurrency in Japan, but it has immediate utility and benefits. And I'm also going to announce it here. So for people who have Cash and who will use that to pay on our 3 platforms. So we have CoinX, which is the coin exchange, and we have Cryptos, which is going to be an ICO platform and a crypto-only exchange, and Liquid. So for these 3 platforms, if you use Cash token as a payment, we will give 5% off. So it will almost become a no-brainer for someone who has Cash to use it when they want to pay for fees, when they want to pay for credit, if they want to pay for collateral. They should use Cash, unless they want to hold on to it because they feel that the value could potentially increase, which I think it will. But again, that's a different discussion. So the Cash token is a cryptocurrency that has a lot of benefits. Okay, so let's open up to questions. So there's a pinned comment. So from Catherine, Cash will be tentatively listed on December 1st. Yes, that is the plan, right? Unless the hard fork becomes a big issue and something happens, I think December 1st is the right timing. So we will make an announcement and we will share it with our community first. So you will know. But again, I would like everybody to look at it long term, right? When you think about it, Bitcoin has already died 1,000 times. Like every year people say this is the end of Bitcoin, right? Short term, there's volatility. But as you can see, Bitcoin is at its highest peak right now since its inception, right? So I would love everybody to look at this long term, because if we are successful, the value of cash, I believe the market cap of cash will be a top 3 crypto token in terms of market cap in the world. I really believe that, because there's no other cryptocurrency that is pro-regulation, that is pro-financial services, and especially pro-fintech, right? I think I explained before, 99.9% of all cryptocurrency is actually anti-regulation. And it's okay, rightfully so. The entire crypto market cap right now, which is close to 180 billion, was built by people who had an ideology, right? Bitcoin started in 2009, 1 year after the global financial crisis, where the meltdown almost took down the entire world, right? So that's why Bitcoin started. It was anti-government. It was anti-central bank, right? It was free society. It was privacy, right? And that's why people supported that. And that's why it's 180 billion right now. But now, mainstream finance is coming in, right? Wall Street is coming in. 2 weeks ago, I had a call with Goldman Sachs, right? They said they had a handful of institutional customers who were interested in buying or trading cryptocurrencies. And they were looking around which exchange is the best. And they said we had the best liquidity, and they really liked our liquid platform, right? So we are bridging the traditional finance, the mainstream finance, with the crypto economy. There's nobody else, right? When you look at our management team, we worked at Goldman, we worked at Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, UBS, right? We all came from that side, but we knew crypto was going to become mainstream. So right now the crypto market cap is 180 billion. I think it could be 200 trillion, right? That's what I believe. And in order to do that, there needs to be liquidity. And we are the ones who will provide that. I'm not saying it's going to be overnight. It could take 10 years. It could take 20 years. But I have no doubt that it's going to be in the hundreds of trillions of dollars. Because everything is going digital, right? The world is going to go cashless, right? You're not going to have branches and large headquarters of banks and these legacy systems and papers and coins, right? It's going to be cashless, it's going to be assetless, and it's going to be borderless, right? Everything's going to be borderless, right? When you travel the world, for example, I live in Singapore. When I go to Vietnam, when I go to Philippines, I still have to put in peso, rupiah, Japanese yen. I dream a day where I can just go and pay with cash. Right? It's okay. I can pay with Bitcoin. I can pay with QASH Token. That day will come. Right? So I hope that everybody who participated in our public sale can one day say that, guys, I participated in QASH's public sale. I wish I could have said that for Bitcoin and Ethereum. But for cash, this is the beginning, right? So for next week, I would love to have everybody participate and contribute and join our journey because it's going to be amazing. Okay? All right. So let's go to other questions. Okay, can you explain how the prorated allocation will work and if there will be fees involved in the refund? So that's a good point, right? So this is how it works. So you will all register with cryptos, and then you will fund your Ethereum or Bitcoin. And when the day comes, you will buy cash, right? And after 3 days, we will make sure if it was oversubscribed, that we will do a haircut. We will prorate it and we will reflect it on your account, right? So for example, if you initially bought 100 cash and due to oversubscription, you can only get 80. So after 3 days, it might take a couple of days, it might take 3 days, but we will take the 20 cash out and we will refund in the currency, Bitcoin or Ethereum that you funded. There will be no fees, right? If there are any fees, we will incur it. Okay? Okay, another pinned comment. I didn't know that you were able to pin a comment, and that's good because, or else it just goes through the feed. So liquidity is available 3 weeks after you invest. That is correct. That's the beauty, right? And it's going to be available in CoinX, cryptos, and we might select a few others, right? It's very different from other tokens where they go to Ether Delta, or they need to go to Liquidity or Bitfinex, right? You will be able to trade them on our exchange, and as you know, we're one of the largest exchanges. So I think that would be good. But that said, I think you should enjoy and participate in our journey, right? The markets are irrational, especially in the beginning. It could go up or down, right? If I were you, and unless you were desperate for liquidity, I would hold on to them. But that's only my advice, right? Okay, and also, what are you going to do with them? Oh, the 250 million that we don't sell or we reduce, right? I think I explained it, but maybe Satya, you joined a little late. But we will keep that as reserve because as a liquid platform, we need them. We should not burn them. Why burn cash tokens when we need it for liquidity, right? And we're issuing 1 billion cash tokens. It's a nice round number, right? We need that for liquidity. So after we update our website and our white paper, you will know that the 25%, the 250 million that we don't sell in the public sale this time will be reserved for strategic partners and institutional buyers. These people are strategically important to the liquid platform, or they're long-term holders, right? So it would add value to everybody because they're not there to flip it, right? They're not there to earn a quick return. They're there for strategic reasons. So again, I'm going to repeat it. We are not going to burn the other 250 million cash. It will be distributed and sold to partners. And also to rest assured is we will not sell it at a discount to the public price. We will sell it at a market rate with a little bit of a discount, right? So assuming the cash price goes up, that when we sell that or distribute that to our strategic partners, it will be market rate plus a little bit of a discount. Okay, so I hope I answered that. If I open order on Bitfinex, will I be able to see this order on your world book? Yes, you will. Right, Bitfinex is a core and strategic liquidity partner, and the orders that you will place on Bitfinex will show on the world book. But again, those are orders that you put as a limit order, right? If you put a market order, it won't show. But yes, answering your question is because we connect with all these exchanges, those orders will be reflected in the world book. Okay, all right. So by the way, I think our peak user was 80 something. I think Catherine had close to 150. So hopefully we could get a little bit more. But I think we have 15, 20 minutes. So let's make sure that we cover all the questions that you may have. And by the way, I'm happy to do another one before a public sale, right? So, but if there's any questions that you have, please just shout out. Okay, there's from, in the long-term economics of cash, since there is no burning of cash and cash will be used primarily as a discount for trading fees, would there be a macro policy in place that would drive up the scarcity of cash? So that's a hard question, right? So let's look at this. Cash is a cryptocurrency. So think of cash as a currency, right? How does the value of that currency go up, right? When you can think about the US dollar, or you can think about the Japanese yen, or you can even think about emerging market currencies, right? So it's all about the strength of the issuer. So the country, or in our case, the issuing company, needs to be highly profitable. It needs to be strong. It needs to be expanding, right? That's one element. But then the other element is that currency needs to be used by many people, right? Many services. That's why we have an advantage compared to like Bitcoin, which is going to be split up to 4, and it could be split up much more times, where cash will make sure that those things don't happen, and it becomes a preferred cryptocurrency to be used from financial institutions and any other business. I even want like governments to use our cryptocurrency, right? And the strength of the currency is actually the utility, how broad and how much you can scale, and also the velocity, right? How much of that can be used, and it creates an ecosystem where it's been used and it's been used often, right? So I actually don't want people to like hold and just keep like hoarding cash. From a cryptocurrency perspective, is not ideal. From a value appreciation, maybe yes, because of scarcity. But from a cryptocurrency perspective, I want everybody to start using it, right? And that's why we're putting these discount as an incentive. And it's not only going to be for our services. When we partner with these strategic partners and other financial services, we will extend that discount to them as well, right? So when you think about it, fintech companies going forward, their customer base is going to be global, right? Whether if you're like a peer-to-peer lender, or you're a robo-advisor, or a crypto investment, or a social insurance, your customer base is going to be global. how are you going to collect fees? Is it going to be credit card? Right? Half of the world doesn't use credit card. Right? Are you going to ask them to wire as an international transfer? If you just want to collect like $5 or $10 and international wire fee could be $30, it doesn't make sense, right? So there is a need for a digital money, a universal cryptocurrency that people can use. We believe cash is that cryptocurrency. So for our partners who truly believe in that, we will extend that 5% discount to them. Rather than them paying like Visa 3% or American Express 4%, they can use QASH Token, and they should actually, rather than themselves enjoying that 5%, they should pass on that 5% to their customers. By the way, I apologize. I need to get some water. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I have a sore throat today. All right, next question. Website says coin targets Asia. Any plan to expand business to America or other regions? Any business already going on with partners in US? So we made an announcement. I think it was last week. We will be expanding into Canada. So we are partnering with a company called Blockwave. It's a new emerging fintech company. They will white label our CoinX platform. They already have multiple bank accounts in Canada. The good thing is the CEO entrepreneur is pretty amazing. And he's aggressive. He aspires for greatness. And he's a pretty amazing guy. They're very small, but I think they're the right partner. I think as I said before, we want to work with startups, right? Rather than working with large global banks. That's something Ripple can do, right? That's something R3 can do. And that's something Digital Asset Holding can do. We want to work with startups. We want to work with fintech companies, right? Because that's the future. Every large company starts small, right? And I think the trust is going to go to startups going forward, right? Are you going to trust a JP Morgan? Are you going to trust a Jamie Dimon? Are you going to trust all these incumbent banks? They almost ruined the entire world, right? The future of finance is with startups, fintech companies. So that's why I want to work with fintech companies. Okay. All right. Do you think going regulated goes against the concept of decentralization of cryptocurrency? And what kind of interventions are we expecting from being regulated? It's a good question. So like it or not, regulation is going to come in. As long as there's countries, as long as there's states, and as long as there's a big social impact, it's going to be regulated, right? So especially when it touches fiat. So that's why we have multiple services, right? Our CoinX is a fiat crypto exchange. Even if it's decentralized or centralized, it has nothing to do with the concept. If it touches fiat, it will be regulated. And it's regulated in Japan. It's going to be regulated in Korea. It's going to be regulated in China, Philippines, Singapore. It's going to happen. Like it or dislike it, it is going to be a regulated industry, right? The good old days of being ideology-driven free society is going to come to an end, especially if it touches fiat, right? So then why not have a pro-regulated cryptocurrency, right? Why not have a pro-regulated exchange, right? Why not have a regulated financial service, right? It's going to happen. So we might as well embrace it. That's how I look at it, right? So when I look at the future of cryptocurrencies, there's going to be a vast amount of cryptocurrencies that prefer to be unregulated, and that's okay, right? Even when you look at Ethereum, the new improvements that they made were a lot around privacy, right? And that's okay. But there's going to be a big opportunity for pro-regulation cryptocurrencies. Right now, when you look at it, there's only Ripple, right? And we believe, and Ripple's working with larger banks, global institutions, right? Good luck. We want to work with fintech startups. So that's a green field. There's a big opportunity, right? So going back, regulation can happen regardless. So do you want to be pro-regulation, or do you want to avoid that as much as possible? I think there's an opportunity for pro-regulation, I call this, like, there's dark tokens or dark currencies, and then there's light currencies. And we are going to be the light currency. Okay, so hi Mike, do your exchange offer insurance for account users in case hackers attack? That's a good point. We're already talking with insurance companies, right? But insurance companies need to change as well, because the way they construct insurance products, it's not really tailored towards cryptocurrencies. So some exchanges do say, hey, we provide insurance. But when you look at all the disclaimers, right, it's almost impossible to get insured, because they'll say, hey, right, the responsibility to show that it wasn't your fault that your ID and password was hacked, you need to prove it, right? It's almost impossible to do that. That said, we are talking to insurance companies, and being a regulated exchange that does proper customer asset segregation, that does proper privacy, security, and there will be insurance that will be tailored towards cryptocurrencies, right? So I can't guarantee you when that will happen, but it will come. And when it does, we will be one of the first ones to have insurance for our users. Okay. All right. Any other questions? So let me check anything else. So by the way, we have a lot of interesting partnerships, right? And these partnerships are not only on the liquidity side, but white labeling, right? So I think within the next couple of months, we will have some exciting partnerships and announcements that we can share with our community, right? So I think that's one of the beauties of a company that's been in existence for over 3 years, a company that's profitable, a company that has over 70 people, and we're going to double our team this year, We're the only cryptocurrency startup that Deloitte does auditing, right? So we're the first cryptocurrency startup that has Deloitte as our auditor. We're the first global exchange to be registered in Japan. We will probably be the first one in the Philippines, right? The Philippine Central Bank mentioned that we're almost very close to getting a license registration in the Philippines, right? And then we're working with within Singapore as well. So regulation is going to happen, but in markets that are regulated, we will be the first ones. And I am looking into Asia, but I'm also looking into other parts of the world as well. So if you have any interesting, we're looking for partners globally, right? Partners who want to grow with us, partners who are interested, passionate about cryptocurrency, right? Because this is the future. And we welcome you to join our journey, right? Because it's going to be pretty amazing. And I'm excited to have everybody join our QASH sale. Okay, so let's see if there's a few more. Okay, so could you explain the model by which you will provide liquidity across exchanges? Right, so let's look at it this way. Right, there's a lot of these exchanges globally, right? And some have certain pairs that are liquid and others do not, right? So for example, a European exchange might have liquidity in Euro BTC, right? An exchange in Japan might have a lot of liquidity in BTC JPY, right? But in other pairs, they're not liquid. But what we do is we combine all of these together, right? And the beauty is we have a real-time cross-currency conversion engine. So what does that mean, right? So for example, if it's Bitcoin JPY, this JPY we can convert into any local FX currency that we want. Currently, we converted to 10 other currency pairs, right? So someone in Asia, or say someone in Singapore who wants to buy Bitcoin Singapore, right? They want to use their own Singapore dollar. Right now, there's no liquidity in Bitcoin SGD, but because we will convert Bitcoin JPY into Bitcoin SGD, they will be able to buy it in their own local currency, right? So we are able to do that across all of the exchanges, so that each individual exchange might have small liquid pools, but when you aggregate together, it's a large pool, right? And it especially makes sense when it's non-Bitcoin or non-Ethereum, right? So some of the other cryptocurrencies, when you can combine all of those into one liquid platform and allows people to trade in their local currency, that's something no one can do right now, right? So that's a huge benefit. And people will start coming to our platform. So for example, myself living in Singapore, I cannot sign up with a European exchange. I cannot sign up with a US exchange because I'm not a resident, right? And these places will need to do KYC and they're only open to their residents, right? But because we're connected with all these 15, anyone who signs up with our exchange will be able to tap into all of these exchanges in their local currency that they want, right? So the more people who come to this liquid platform, we will actually drive volume to all these exchanges as well. So these 15 exchanges, and we're going to increase these exchanges to like 20 and 30 over time, they will benefit because we will bring volume to them, right? And I think your other question is, how are we different from market makers? right now there's actually no market makers. They're actually just hedge funds, right? They are market takers. They look at opportunities and arbitrage opportunities, and they trade. That's not market maker, right? In real finance, market makers will have an obligation, even when the market is volatile, even in extreme situations, they will always put a bid ask at a certain band or a certain percentage. Nobody does that, right? They will come and say, hey, we're market makers, right? Give us a better deal, give us credit, extend us something, right? The reality is there's no market makers. They're here to look at arbitrage opportunities across exchanges, right? And what they do with their volume is they can move some markets. And you know what happens when these hedge funds move markets? The retail investors are the ones that are going to get hurt, right? There's going to be margin calls because they can move the markets, right? That was the past. And with liquid, that will not happen. Hopefully there will be enough liquidity that the opportunity for everybody to tap into liquid and tap into liquidity is there, right? So that's how I look at it. All right. Should we do one last question? All right. Okay, on a lighter note, so this is the last one. I thought you were living in Japan. I live half in Japan and I live half in Singapore, or I might say I just live half on. I live on the airplane, right? So I wish someday where virtual reality and augmented reality can allow me to do business anywhere without physically moving. But again, we're driven to be successful. And if that means I need to be in Japan, Singapore, Ho Chi Minh, Manila, Canada, that's an opportunity that I will embrace, right? So with that, I would like to conclude my AMA. I'm more than happy to do one more before our public sale. And I was not able to hit the 100 concurrent users. So kudos to Catherine and Tam, who had, I think, over 130 last time. But thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our customer champions. By the way, we call our customer support customer champions because that is the touch point where our users and our customers touch our team, right? There's two places where our customers and we interact. One is the actual product and one is customer support, right? So if our customer support does a great job, we have happy users. And that's why we call our customer support customer champions. And I think we have one of the best customer champions in the world, right? They might not always be the fastest to reply to your questions, your message, or your opening of your accounts, but we have the best, right? And we're going to be better, and we want to grow with everybody. So thank you so much, and we look forward for everybody. It doesn't have to be a lot to participate in our QASH token sale. So with that, thank you so much, and I apologize that I had a sore throat and I was coughing in between, but I'll definitely do another AMA before our public sale. All right, thank you so much and good night.